What is up, Night Owls? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Paul from GH Spoiler, and the weather in New York is absolutely freezing right now, but my blood is literally boiling. Today we are breaking down the absolute insanity of Drew's desperate phone call to Elizabeth and Willow's terrifying villain era. Grab your coffee, because we are diving deep into this chemical hostage crisis. Okay, I literally cannot believe this. Can we please process this mess together? Look, I am running on maybe 2 hours of sleep, 3 stale energy drinks, and pure, unadulterated psychic damage, because this grueling, decade-long journey with General Hospital has finally pushed me over the absolute edge. I just hit record at 3 a.m. because I am spiraling through a chaotic feedback loop of transcendent hype and absolute narrative betrayal. Might delete this later, but I seriously can't stay silent about this anymore. I am ditching the script. I am breaking every single filter I have. We need to talk about the unfiltered, hard truths of what is happening in Port Charles right now. Because there are absolute legends carrying this entire storyline on their broken shoulders, while others are single-handedly testing my sanity on a microscopic level. Honestly, I am losing my mind, and I need the digital hive mind to witness my existential collapse right here, right now. Unbelievable, guys. What's going on here? Let me present the evidence of the most heart-stopping, anxiety-inducing sequence of television we have seen in years. Basically, Nina Reeves, who is honestly just a walking tornado of bad decisions, accidentally stabbed Jack Brennan with Drew's paralytic medicine during that chaotic scuffle with Valentin. Nina is spiraling. Valentine is doing Cassadine damage control. And in the midst of all this, they leave Drew Kane alone. Drew's weekly dose is wearing off. He is in that bedroom, trapped in a chemical prison, and he realizes this is his one and only shot. The medicine is fading. His fingers are twitching, and he manages to reach a nearby phone. Listen to me. The sheer willpower of this man is a major flex. He's fighting through literal paralysis, sweating, shaking, his vision probably blurred to absolute hell just to hit his speed dial. And who does he call? Elizabeth Baldwin. Suddenly, we cut to General Hospital. Elizabeth is standing in the sterile, glaring lights of the GH lobby. She has just been dealing with the absolute headache of Rocco Falconeri's slide burn and Dante's incoming meltdown. And she's already suspicious because she's been asking Nina questions about Brennan dropping to the floor. Basically, Liz's medical brain is already doing the math. She knows Brennan's stroke looks suspiciously familiar. And then her phone rings. It's Drew. Look, and when I say my jaw hit the floor, I mean it shattered the floorboards. Liz answers, and what she hears on the other end of that line is the stuff of absolute nightmares. It is Drew's voice, but it is broken, fragmented, and filled with a kind of desperate, suffocating terror that honestly makes my chest tight just thinking about it. He doesn't have time to explain the whole lore. He doesn't have time to say Nina stabbed, Brennan or Valentin is here. Basically, Drew uses every single ounce of his remaining agonizing strength to whisper the exact name of the highly classified neurodrug that is keeping him paralyzed. He whispers the chemical compound. It is a total game changer. It is the smoking gun. Elizabeth hears his highly specific pharmaceutical name, and you can literally see the realization hit her like a freight train. She is a nurse. She knows exactly what that drug does. She knows it induces a state that mimics a massive stroke or locked-in syndrome. And in that exact microsecond, the pieces of the puzzle violently snap together in her head. But suddenly the audio cuts. Just like that. Why? Because Willow Kane, sweet, innocent, kindergarten teaching Willow Kane, races back into the room and snatches the phone right out of Drew's trembling hand. Unbelievable. Honestly, Willow has low-key become my new obsession as a villain, but at the same time, I am absolutely terrified of her. The sheer audacity to look a paralyzed man in the eyes, a man who was inches away from salvation, and just rip his lifeline away to protect her own twisted secrets. It is diabolical. Basically, Willow has crossed the Rubicon. She is not just covering up an affair anymore. She is actively engaging in the chemical imprisonment of a human being. She is the warden of Drew's personal hell. Whoa, I've really gone off chasing butterflies into another dimension. Bringing the signal back, let's stick to the script. Let's focus on Elizabeth's reaction at the hospital. Because this is where the true psychological warfare begins. Liz is holding her phone. The line is dead. The dial tone is just echoing in her ear, matching the frantic beating of her own heart. She knows. She absolutely knows. The symptoms Brennan exhibited when he was rushed in. The sudden collapse, the complete loss of motor function, It is the exact same clinical presentation as Drew Kane's stroke from 3 months ago. Elizabeth realizes in real time that neither of these men suffered a natural medical emergency. They were dosed, they were poisoned, and the terrifying truth washes over her. Willow is using this neuro drug to turn Drew into a silent, helpless prisoner inside the Quartermaine mansion. Honestly, the stakes right now are at absolute terminal velocity. This is it. This is the climax we have been begging. For Elizabeth is standing there in the middle of General Hospital, clutching her phone, and she is faced with an impossible life or death dilemma. Option A. She goes straight to the authorities. She calls Dante Falconeri. Basically, this makes the most logical sense. Right, Dante is a cop. He can kick the door down. But wait, look at Dante's current mental state. Dante is currently a ticking time bomb. He just barged into Lulu's house. Absolutely livid. Because he found out Rocco pulled the trigger on Ross. Cullum and Lulu has been hiding it with Nathan West, aka Cassius. Dante is completely unhinged right now, screaming about betrayals and justice systems. If Liz goes to Dante with a wild conspiracy theory about Willow drugging Drew without hard physical evidence, Dante might just explode, or worse, he might rush in recklessly and get Drew killed. Wait, why are we like this? Why do I suddenly think Liz shouldn't call the cops? Actually, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe she has to call Dante, because going it alone is literal suicide, honestly. I am contradicting myself every 5 seconds, because my brain is just overflowing with the sheer panic of this situation. If Liz doesn't call Dante, what is option B? Option B is that Elizabeth Baldwin, armed with nothing but her medical knowledge and a whole lot of sheer unadulterated grit, decides to take matters into her own hands. Basically, she would have to launch a solo stealth mission. She would have to sneak into the Quartermaine estate or Willow's house bypass, whatever security they have, avoid Nina, avoid Valentine, and somehow extract a fully paralyzed grown man, or at least steal a sample of the neurodrug to prove her case. Listen, Elizabeth sneaking into the lion's den is a major flex, but it is also insanely dangerous. Willow is already showing us that she has zero moral boundaries left. If Willow catches Elizabeth snooping around Drew's bedroom, what is stopping Willow from filling another syringe? What is stopping Willow from deciding that 2 paralyzed prisoners are better than 1? Suddenly, Elizabeth could find herself locked in the exact same silent nightmare as Drew. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a scalpel. I am literally pacing my room right now, screaming at my monitor because I cannot handle the suspense. Elizabeth is standing at the precipice of a decision that will irrevocably alter the fabric of Port Charles. And let's talk about Drew for a second, because my heart is bleeding for this man. Look, Drew Kane is a former Navy SEAL. He is a guy whose entire identity is built on physical capability, agency, and action. To be reduced to a blinking, twitching hostage in his own bed, relying on the mercy of a woman who has completely lost her grip on reality. It is psychological torture of the highest order. When he managed to hit that speed dial, he poured his entire soul into that call. He trusted Elizabeth. He knows Elizabeth is smart enough to decode the medical jargon. When he whispered that drug name, he was passing the baton. He was saying, "I am out of time, you are my only hope." And then Willow's shadow falls over him, the phone is gone, and he is plunged right back into the dark. Honestly, it is Shakespearean levels of tragedy. Basically, the writers have backed everyone into a corner, and the only way out is through absolute chaos. If Liz goes rogue, we are looking at a rescue mission that will rival the glory days of the WSB. We are talking about Liz channeling her inner Jason to save the man who once thought he was Jason. The irony is just too delicious. But look, we also have to factor in the Lucas Jones element. Lucas was just talking to Liz. He noticed she was acting suspicious. He knows she's hiding something about the Rocco drama. And he was there when she started side-eyeing Brennan's stroke. What if Lucas follows Liz? What if this turns into a 2-person medical extraction team? Honestly, I would low-key love to see Lucas and Liz teaming up to take down Willow Kane. But suddenly, I am hit with another terrifying thought. What if the drug Drew whispered isn't just a paralytic? What if it has long-term neurological effects? Drew's window of lucidity might be closing permanently. Every second Elizabeth spends debating her next move in that hospital lobby is a second Drew loses. The clock is ticking so loudly it is deafening. And I am losing my mind because we have to wait until Monday to see what she does. Unbelievable. The pacing of this show is a literal torture device designed to test my blood pressure. Look, we have to respect the absolute masterclass in acting happening right now. The sheer panic in Liz's eyes when the line went dead. The cold dead, terrifying emptiness in Willow's expression when she snatched that phone. Basically, We are watching the birth of a legacy villain. Willow has shed the good girl persona and embraced the darkness, and it is a total game changer for the entire canvas. She is protecting her perfect little life by committing literal atrocities, and she is justifying it in her own twisted mind. It is fascinating, it is horrifying, and it is the exact reason I'm sitting here at 3 a.m. ranting into a microphone. Please tell me, I'm not the only one losing my mind over this. Please, tell me. You guys are screaming at your screens too. Drop your absolute wildest theories in the comments right now. Will Liz call Dante and risk a volatile police raid? Will she go full stealth mode and sneak into the house herself? Will Willow catch her and add her to the collection of chemically paralyzed hostages? I need to know what you guys think before my brain literally short circuits. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and pray for my sanity because General Hospital is out here destroying lives. And I am absolutely here for every single second of it.